Gainers, Ralphie here with the channel on YouTube called Fitter Philosophy. Just have to bring the hat a little bit tighter on my head at the moment because I'm by the coast, near the sea, at the harbour on the Isle of Man, and it's a little bit blowy coming off the Irish Sea, so I don't want my hat blowing into the water or I'll never get it back again. And one thing that we never get back again is time in life, because time only goes one way, and therefore we have to make the most of the time we have and develop the lives that we want for ourselves. And one of the important things that we can do to stack the odds in our favour is to invest in ourselves. The single most important investment that we will ever make in our lives is in ourselves. We can invest in others, but we're better to invest in ourselves to be better versions of ourselves, so that we can be more useful when we share ourselves with others, when we're investing some of our time, some of our energy and some of our resources in them, whether it be friends or family. And I want to take this opportunity to present four simple, practical points of reference when you're investing in yourself, because it's not complex. And in fact, if you keep it simple and start simply, what you will find is that as you make progress, you get to know yourself better, and therefore you can continuously tailor your activities, your thoughts, your investments into improving yourself. And the first investment that I'm going to recommend is in self-discipline, because we're surrounded by people who drift through life. Whether they choose to do something or nothing, they drift along and they think they're doing something, but they're not doing very much, and they think they're doing nothing. But in fact, in terms of their quality of life and investing in themselves, to do nothing's probably a good idea, because it can actually lead to things. So to start with, when you're investing in yourself, invest in self-discipline. So when you have an objective, something you're aiming for, you can focus it, you can be organised with it. And it's rather like practicing archery or shooting. When you practice, you become a better shot and better at hitting your goals. It's just the same with investing in yourself. And another thing is acquiring knowledge. And I don't mean reading the newspapers and watching the television, because you won't find much knowledge there. There's plenty of stories, plenty of information, plenty of propaganda, but knowledge is something else, and you'll mainly find knowledge in books. Don't presume that you go to university for knowledge. You go to university for qualifications, and in many courses you will acquire knowledge, some of it quite valuable and useful in your career, whatever you choose to do in life. However, for too many people, considering the costs involved in further education, a degree at the end of it is no more than a signed receipt for all the money that an establishment has taken off you to provide you with information that you could have found out for yourself, and probably to higher standards. So be aware of that. I'm not suggesting you be too cynical, but when you're investing in yourself, you will become more cynical, because it's an important part of self-preservation. And acquiring knowledge is something that is not just knowledge of the outside world. Very importantly is acquiring knowledge about ourselves. What are our skills? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? The more we understand them, the more we can bespoke tailor our improvement, self-improvement, to be more effective and more suited and ideal to ourselves. Without doubt, skills and qualifications are useful, At the moment, too many people regard paper qualifications as skills and qualifications which lead to so-called higher social standing. However, practical skills should never be overlooked and never underestimated, and no matter what happens in society, people who have skills will have something to trade, something to earn money from, something to barter and something to swap. Whether you're an electrician, a carpenter, a joiner, a metal worker, a craftsperson, a window cutter, a bricklayer, a painter and decorator. Never underestimate the value of practical, useful skills and the opportunity to learn them. You can often find that they have considerably less costs involved and can lead to greater long-term career stability. And finally, get to know your body. What's the strengths in your body? Are you a strong person? Do you have certain weaknesses, say in your legs or your arms? Are you prone to certain illnesses? What's the history in the family? Is the cancer a feature within the family? Or perhaps diabetes? Are there family members dying young due to heart failure? Do your research and be aware of it, because too many people, when they're making investments, they forget that as part of investing in themselves, they need to be eating and consuming nourishment for nutrition, because too many food is packaged and sold these days for entertainment and profits. So be aware of eating for health and nutrition, and therefore whatever the situation in your family as regards health problems, you may find that in managing your lifestyle successfully and investing in it, that you're far, far better off. And never forget, the body and mind are inseparable. A healthier body will lead inevitably to a far healthier mind, and vice versa. The less you can depend on chemical stimulants, the better. To a certain extent, alcohol is allowed because I'm a whiskey reviewer and I would say that, but in moderation. Know where your limits are. This is something else to invest in self-knowledge. Know what your limits are, know where your comfort zone is, and know when you're outside it. When we invest in ourselves, we will learn so much in the process, not just about ourselves, but in the world around us that we're relating to. And when we do that, by default, guaranteed, even with luck or good luck or bad luck involved, you're just going to have far more successful lives. And finally, I would conclude by saying, look around you. Look at the people who inspire you. Look at the people who don't inspire you, and understand the difference between them. What makes good people better? What makes bad people worse? What is there in ourselves which could make us worse? And importantly, what can make us better? Concentrate on the positives. The more we do, the more we negate and offset the negatives, and the more we reap the rewards of investing in ourselves. I'm Ralphie. Hope you've enjoyed this little monologue. I'm going to leave you with a delightful, picturesque, that's what it is, little view of a local harbour with the sun shining in the sky, because at this moment in time, yeah, it's what I'm investing in. See you soon.